At this point, you've finished your case history and your faculty doctor has reviewed it. Now it's time to do your physical exam. In a student clinic, you'll be completing that on a paper form and then transferring it into the EHR. In our outpatient and outreach clinics, you'll be recording the exam directly into the EHR as you perform it. The first thing you will want to do is open up the same notes. Okay, so we want our history physical notes for our patient. Edit that. You can see our patient's name and the date of our notes. So now let's click on the documentation tab and then objective speed notes. We want to do our postural exam. So this particular patient has a high right shoulder and a high right ilium. So you can see on here, there's no place to record the measurements. So you'll have to go down to the freeform area in the bottom and record the amount that your shoulder is high. So this shoulder is high. Our right shoulder is 3 centimeters high. Now you want to do your range of motion. So you'll notice that you have an active and a passive tab, and then you have a joint location tab and a specific joint tab. So we're going to start with our active spine cervical range of motion. Now we measure active motion with an inclinometer. So we're measuring that in degrees. So if you click on the slider bar, that's going to put in the normals. So this particular patient had all normal cervical ranges of motion, and they had no pain with any of the motions. Passive range of motion in our clinic, we don't measure with an inclinometer. So we're going to eyeball it, and we're going to see that this patient has all normal cervical range of motion without any pain. Now let's go back to active, and let's go to our lumbar motion. So again, joint is going to be in spine, and the joint is lumbar. So our active lumbar motion, we're measuring flexion. It was normal with this patient. Extension was normal as well. Left lateral flexion, this patient was restricted at 20 degrees, and they had some pain. Okay? We're going to have to record the location of that pain in the freeform area. Okay, so we can see this patient had some pain with left lateral flexion. It was about a 2 out of 10, and it was to the left of L5. Right lateral flexion was normal. Left and right rotation are actually thoracolumbar motion, right? So we don't really measure that, but we can eyeball it and see that it's normal. Now, passive lumbar motion, and we can see that this patient has normal motion. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at our notes, and we can see the subjective information that we've already added. And now we can see the postural analysis that we just added, and we can also see our ranges of motion. So we have our active and cervical range of motion measured in degrees, and we have our passive range of motions measured with descriptors. We can also see that we had pain with active left lateral flexion. Okay, and then below that we can see where we recorded in the freeform area about the measurements for our postural analysis and our qualifiers for the pain with range of motion. Thank you. I hope this has been helpful.